Hello, my name is Anthony Scott.
And I'm Mary Ann Rich. We are both from the Center for Nursing Excellence and Innovation, formerly known as NX, and we are presenting on streamlined RN orientation. Our traditional model for newly hired RNs with career and travelers, which we call RNO, was a week-long process before they could go to their units. It was 8 hours of new employee orientation, 2 days with us, and 2 days with Apex training. In 2020, UCSF lost revenue due to reduction of inpatient volumes, suspension of non-emergent surgeries and procedures. And that prompted us to immediately evaluate our investment in resources for the RNO process. In the past, we had the luxury of onboarding up to 60 nurses at a time. The goals were to streamline the process, reduce the onboarding time, release the RNs to the units faster. And we also had to allow for an increased staffing for new Mount Zion units and for surge staffing. With a bottom line of reducing costs, we had to maintain our general overview of the UCSF evidence-based policies and procedures and critical processes unique to UCSF. In-person testing to assess readiness of the RN to provide patient care that meets UCSF commitments to safety had to remain. We reviewed the original content with UCSF policies, mapped it against ANPD, the Association of Nursing Professional Development, expectations for nursing onboarding, and benchmarked it against regulatory requirements. Redundancies were assessed. Our past high-touch skill training was historically trusted by leadership and was very engaging for orientees, yet it would require impractical distancing, extra cleaning, causing extra time, additional waste, and increased fumes in enclosed spaces. We had a need to onboard increased number of nurses while maintaining social distancing with limited space. In-person presence was still needed for PICS's signature and medical math and telemetry testing.
After completing the gap analysis, the orientation was streamlined into a one-day model. Content not required for regulatory or procedural reasons was simplified or simply removed from the agenda. To save time, we removed all hands-on activities and developed several UCSF-specific videos to review unique equipment and supplies, such as the lab collection printer and IV manifold tubing. Recognizing that a full day of lecture would not promote engagement in the content, topics such as quality nurse indicators were modified into games to promote participation and provide variation in teaching styles. Time was made available to add new content that introduces UCSF's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion through a self-reflection activity. A comprehensive program outline was developed to summarize the learning objectives for training topics. The modified orientation was initially piloted in July and August of 2020 to assess the impact upon new hire scheduling, and a survey was developed to assess the outcomes. Minor modifications to schedule and content was completed, and after communication was shared with key stakeholders within nursing leadership, the program went live in September of 2020. This project has had significant fiscal impact with savings of more than $623,000, as demonstrated by our evaluation of the average hourly pay and number of nurses trained in a 17-month period. Qualtrics survey data has been collected since the inception of the pilot in July of 2020. Responses overwhelmingly demonstrate that the new hired nurses leave the orientation prepared to safely provide patient care in alignment with UCSF policies, and that they are satisfied with the organization of the content and length of time invested in the day. Surveys sent to nursing leaders and preceptor trainers similarly demonstrate satisfaction with the one-day format. We will continue to evaluate the outcomes of the modified nursing orientation with ongoing surveys of the orientees and unit leaders. As practice changes adapt, we will incorporate changes and updates to the curriculum content as feasible. A positive outcome we learned from the revised nursing program is that nurses are able to begin their on-unit orientation much sooner, especially after the Apex team streamlined their training content as well. Physical distancing and space restriction has limited the number of nurses that our team is able to onboard on a single day. The modified nursing orientation has allowed for flexibility to perform back-to-back orientations on both Monday and Tuesday splitting up travel nurses who do not traditionally attend the new employee orientation held on Mondays. We've learned a lot from this revision of the nursing orientation program. And although Marianne and I are the ones presenting it to you, it required the efforts of our entire education team to update and modify the content of the program. We acknowledge their efforts, as well as our education director, Michael Francis, for leading us toward this change. We thank you for your attention.